Hello, Umfundise. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I just saw your video. I'm down here filing away my latest batch of comics, and I've been listening to videos while I do that, so it doesn't seem quite so tedious. Just listen to your latest video about hope. And I'll tell you right now, first of all, I'm not a card-carrying Christian. I have my doubts. I believe in something higher. Don't know what it is, but I do believe that it looks out after us. Maybe that's my faith. Maybe that's why I have hope. But anyway, I'm not exactly the most positive person in the world. I'm fairly cynical, but I do have hope, only because really it comes down to what choice is there. I mean, where there's life, there's hope, and where there's life, there's possibility. And while I think there's some kind of a plan, we're not given the cheat codes to it or the teacher's edition to it. So we're left to deal with it, get the clues as much as we can. It could all just be bullshit too. Who knows? But you have to go by what you feel, just as you go by what you feel, believing in Jesus Christ. Yeah, I guess that's my short answer. What choice do we have? We have to try and not to contribute to the hopelessness. We have to be the best people we can. I'm certainly not Mother Teresa. I'm also not... Well, there's certain people I could name, but I'm not going to. But I guess, okay, once upon a time, a friend of mine lent me a book called The Ragamuffin Gospel. And in a way, it kind of taught me how to look for pure Christian messages in, just everyday works of art, like in books, stories. As you can see, I'm into comics. A lot of Star Trek there, Stephen King. And actually, one of the most hopeful things I've ever read is from a Stephen King book called The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. It's about a girl and a boy, brother and sister, who get lost in the woods, in the Maine woods, of course. And little girl, there's a bear tracking her in a typical Stephen King style. He gives the bear the qualities of something otherworldly and spooky and threatening, which I suppose a bear would look that way to a preteen girl. But to keep her sane, she's listening to a little transistor radio. She's listening to the Red Sox baseball game down in Boston. And she's listening to the exploits of Tom Gordon. He's a fictional baseball player. I know nothing about baseball, by the way. But she's listening to this to keep sane and to keep her and her brother safe. But there's this one line where she's like throwing a rock to drive the bear away. There's this one line that comes into her. There's this one particular thought that comes into her mind that I've never forgotten, and it's like this. It was always God's nature to come in at the bottom of the ninth, which means... Bottom of the ninth. At the bottom of the ninth inning means that the game's about to end and all the bases are loaded, which means you're probably going to lose the game. And right when you've given up hope is when God comes in. But the saying that I always remembered was, you could be beaten, but you must not beat yourself. You could be defeated, but you cannot defeat yourself. And that, I don't know, that meant a lot to me. And maybe that's the reason why I have hope as well, because right when I need hope, I always receive it. Right when I pray for help, I always receive it. And of course, we're ego-driven creatures, and of course, we don't want to ever ask for help from anyone, especially not what sometimes a lot of people think of as an invisible imaginary friend that has, infinite power. That's how some people think of it. But I'll tell you, I've been in some really, really, really dire situations, and I said to God, I can't do this anymore. I need help. I need your help. I'm at the end of my rope here. And I got it. Twice. Yeah, so I'd have to say yes on the hope thing. Yeah, we need it. We need hope. Don't get me wrong. I used to be a fairly negative person, and negativity... You've heard the expression, misery loves company. Well, it does. because you don't want to be miserable by yourself. So it's like a virus. It wants to replicate itself. But anyway, that's my answer to your question, Umfundise, and hope it gives you some things to think about. All the best.